Saturday, 17th of January, 2026 at 9:54 a.m. here in Amsterdam, North Holland, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your Dev and Design podcast featuring two boys who are overdressed for the occasion.
Because it's downright warm out there.
It's downright warm out there. Or as a Dutch person stopped us on the street to let us know, she's like, it's hot.
It's not hot.
It's not hot.
It's definitely not hot.
I'm your designer, Jake. He is your engineer, Trey. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Jake.
It is she said downright hot. I think she meant warm, but you know, the Dutch, they just come at you. And they're
in comparison to last week, it is hot.
It is hot. Yeah. I
because
think we all can
it was cold last week.
We are all overdressed for the occasion. All we do is talk about the weather now, as it turns out in this podcast.
It's exciting.
So it's not the astro weather, but you know, the actual weather here in Amsterdam, you know, of which you're probably not viewing from. So I'm sure it's very helpful to you that we do all of that.
There, see, it's over there.
It's over there. It's beautiful. It's warm. It's nice. We had done a lot of kind of UI fixes last week, and so a lot of what we're going to be talking about today in this episode, which is called Alignments and Adjustments, is some fun stuff that we did to kind of fix the UI. The UI was looking a little funny in some places that I didn't.
Would you say that the UI had subluxations?
You know, I was almost tempted to use a picture from a chiropractor up here, and I decided not to for two reasons. One,
to not get me started.
Not to get Trey started. Actually, three. So one, not to get Trey started. Two, I think people get triggered by chiropractors because they don't like the cracking. And three, not every time we make an adjustment, we have to think about chiropractic. And like, are we here to be talking about chiropractors? No. In fact, we're here to talk about garbage barges that are going by right now that you can't see. There you go.
This one goes by every day.
He goes by every day. He waves to us.
He waves to you, the viewer.
He's very sweet.
He loves the viewer.
He loves the viewer. But before we get to all of the UI changes and the fun things we're going to talk about today, of course, we have to start with the check-in question. Mr. Henry, that is yours. Let's do it.
The animals love making tarot decks. And when they make tarot decks out of humans. They use humans, obviously. And so what card in the animal tarot deck are you?
What card in the animal tarot deck that, of course, is using humans as the...
humans are the animals, spirit animals.
Humans are the animal spirit animals. Okay, so what is the the spirit human by which I would be if I were an animal?
Yeah. So, you know, like you could be, you know, sort of like a positive moral story, a negative moral story.
I feel like we have to go to the flow chart of this one and be like, okay, here's where we're at with it. Okay.
It's a very Trey question.
I would be the queen, and the queen, of course, would be a amalgamation of Susie Orman and Beyonce, probably. So I would want the Susie Orman Beyonce card as the queen, or die Königin, as we would say here. And yeah, I feel like I want to embody that. Not that I exude it every day, but I think that's the card that we want to be one day. Like if I chose the card that we were exuding every day, I would probably be like the 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. Which one is the one where he has to...
The 10.
The 10 of Wands. Kind of carrying the load.
Yeah.
And that's already a human. So, you know, that's not very exciting. So I've chosen that. What about you, Mr. Henry? What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's interesting. You took it in a slightly different direction, which is great. Like, which was like, what humans would you want to see on that card, and then model yourself after? I meant, which card would you be? The animals have picked you. To represent
well, I'm the 10 of Wands. My God.
Okay.
Like, I am the 10 of Wands, and then me as a squirrel would want to be the Königin. So that would be the...
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Okay. Sorry, I understand now. So, there's 3 parts to this question. I am the 10 of Wands, I am a squirrel, and I am the Beyonce Susie Orman queen. Feel free. Mr. Henry, what about you?
I feel like I have a card that's all about the dangers of being unfocused, like the dangers of just being all over the place. I don't know, like, yeah, it's basically just like, it's an image of me.
I think it's an image of the cards thrown around the room. It's a special card.
Or it's just like, it's an image of you watching a show and me in like 10 different places around the room.
Oh, it's lenticular.
Lenticular.
So I'm just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, boop, 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 and I'm just like all over the place. And
You just are jumping around. We should just make that. That is a brilliant idea. Just me sitting there calmly, like working or watching TV, and you just jumping around in a lenticular, like 10 stop.
Yeah. And the rabbits like tell a story about how, like, you know, if you're not paying attention, then, you know, predators sneak up on you, and you can't just hop around all over the place. You got to hop in one direction. Go.
You got to hop one direction. And if it's in the street, that's okay. You know,
It's a roo-doo-doo.
the roo-doo might get you. Hey, let us know if you like that roo-doo reference. Let us know in the comments. What is the roo-doo reference, and put it down there. We look forward to your engagement every single week. Thank you for that. Good check-in, everybody.
Yeah,
good check-in.
nice one.
So let's talk a little bit about fun things that happened here. So a couple things. Number one, I had spent last week looking at the episode up there, looking at how we were going to do terms or bounds within the software. What were we gonna?
You switched back to me while I was drinking coffee.
Oh, sorry. You're allowed to drink on camera. It's completely fine.
Okay.
And in doing so, the viewer may have noticed that I also drank coffee on camera, and I apologize deeply. Hold on, let me get to camera one. I am very sorry for ever drinking coffee on camera. It will never happen again. Okay, so we had talked about last week the terms and bounds schemes, and we had mentioned that one of the terms or bounds schemes that we use is for Ptolemaic, but as dictated by Lily. And we kept saying like Ptolemaic dictated by Lily, Ptolemaic dictated by Lily. Well, there are many different interpretations of Ptolemaic bounds through the lens of different practitioners, and one of the practitioners is Deb Houlden, where Deb Houlden has gone through a kind of rigorous re-synthesizing of traditional works to figure out what they may have meant by Ptolemaic schemes across many different works. It's a great paper. It's going to be in the show link below. You should read it if you're into astrology, because it's just a really great paper. Me, as a very rigorous Saturn, you know, my ascendant sits in Virgo, and my Saturn sits in Virgo, and so therefore I am a very rigorous spreadsheety person, and I decided to go back to the original sources. And this one's actually pretty easy because it was written by Deb Houlden probably in like 2006 or so. So when I was doing this, I was also looking at the astro.com help pages for this. And then I started noticing, and I was like, what Deb Houlden is saying over here doesn't seem to map to what astro.com is doing. And
when referencing her work.
When referencing her work, because they do the same thing. And this is also why you should always go back to the original work, because you should make sure that the human interpretation of what someone wrote is actually correct all the way through. And got to a point where I was like, I don't think this makes sense anymore. And then I did a big check, and then I realized, like, yes, in fact, it doesn't make sense. So let me show you a little bit about what that looks like. So what you're seeing here is the Astro Wiki. This is the wiki that is maintained by our friends at astro.com, where they talked about like where the terms and the bound schemes, like what their interpretation of that is. And you'll see here that there is a revision that says fix Sagittarius in holding table, because this table down here that talks about how Ptolemaic terms according to Houlden was constructed made two mistakes. One was transposing two numbers in Libra, and one was straight up having the wrong numbers for Sagittarius. And as it turns out, not only was their documentation wrong, it was wrong in two places, but we also found that after I wrote them and I said, like, look, I think here that like you say this, it needs to be this. And they did a check and they're like, yes. And I don't know if you can fully read what this says here, but it's like, yes, not only is this wrong in our documentation, but it was wrong in the code as well. And I just want to like pat myself on the back, because this is as Virgo, like Saturn and Virgo as it comes, like to find somebody's deep rooted error. And I suspect, based upon the, if I go back over here, based upon the change history here, so work with me on the like how to read the Wikipedia or the wiki markup here. The last time that this was created was, I think, back in like 2013. And then in 2026, they had to revise it. So I think that this has been wrong on astro.com for 13 years. And now the reason, okay, so let's go back over here. So is astro.com a competitor to Cosmic? Kind of, but
Not really.
it not really, but kind of, you know,
mean,
like
in the same way that all astrology software is kind of competing in the same space.
Correct.
I guess.
Correct. But here's the thing, like and I think this is something that can help us to like clarify who we are as people. If we find a problem in someone else's tool, like while we're doing research on like what we're building ourselves, we're going to let them know because we want the astrology to make sense for everybody, right?
We want it to live and thrive. Like
it's not about like us making the best tool. It's about us making astrology
work for everybody.
Work for everybody. And if different tools are giving different answers to things, that doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether those tools are, you know, ours or not. And it's not a competitive advantage for us to hold information and keep information locked up because we, you know, have the right answer and they have the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Instead, we're going to make the astrology work for everybody. So we hope that we can constantly and consistently find ways to improve everybody. You know, we're here to work with the community and to work on our tool.
Yeah, and we really listen when people give us feedback as well. You know, like
and that's what we hope that people would do for us.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. You know, it's like you can't. It's very easy to transpose some things, to update a page wrong. You know, it's very easy to make mistakes, and you know, the way that we fix them is by somebody noticing that, like, hey, this doesn't seem like it's right. And then you give us feedback and we fix it.
Yeah.
You give astro.com feedback, they fix it.
To the point that Trey's making about like people giving us feedback, we had like maybe 2 weeks ago, a really good practitioner session with somebody. And I was synthesizing the notes from that and then said like, I don't exactly know what they meant here about this thing. And I created a small video to ask the question about a thing. And they turned right around and gave me a voice note back that was like complete with the answer of what they were thinking. And I just got to tell you, this is a one up on this one. I love our customers. Like we don't even have paid customers yet, but I love you guys because all you're doing is like, you are contributing as much energy back to us that we are trying to give to you. And I really appreciate that. So it was just so nice to have such a quick conversation about like a question that we had and an answer we could get back so that we can make something better for you all. And that's not typical in companies I've worked for in the past, where we've had like many, many customers and we were trying very hard to figure out what our customers actually wanted and needed. And they were being either recalcitrant or they just wouldn't answer back to you know, helping us to make something good for them. So
yeah, I think a big part of that is trust too. We've talked a lot about trust on the podcast, but you know, if you don't believe that your feedback is going to be used in any meaningful way, then why bother?
Then why would you?
Why would like you nobody is going to give Verizon feedback. Like you might go through the form and give feedback because you're angry and you know it feels good to say.
Yeah, you
like,
can flame.
No, my support experience sucked. But everybody knows that they don't do anything with that. So.
Yeah, I try though. You know, I have to say that like again, I had a tool that was problematic and I was being very constructive in the way I was saying like what they could do better for me. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm putting all of this effort into this. And I'm like, I don't even think that they probably care about this. So one last thing, and this is super goofy and fun thing. We were talking about the idea of like reversibility and irreversibility, and I switched the two terms, and I kept saying irreversible. I said something like, if something is irreversible, you should just do it. And Trey thought that was hilarious. And when Trey said, I think you meant reversible, not irreversible, I made this funny face. And I recognized it, you know, Trey recognized it, and we had a viewer recognize it. And to the idea of like viewers being amazing, this is the first time that a viewer has made fan art of us. So it was, you know, one episode ago, and I made this funny face here, and then this viewer created this drawing of me. And like, I appreciate that the viewer decided that like, I look like I'm smelling something bad up here, and they like softened my face a little bit. And then I've used that now in various contexts. Now, everything has this as my gravatar or my emoji for everything. And I really appreciate that from the viewer. So thank you to the good viewer for making, that fan art over there. When I was talking about the difference between things being reversible versus irreversible and using the wrong word. Okay. Mr. Henry, that's all of the fun things. Let's get to the astrology. Cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to...
Yeah, I'm going to direct Trey through all of this stuff because what I had done is I did what's called a bug bash, and then I found a bunch of problems, and we were fixing the problems. So Trey is here, and the first thing we would like to go to is settings. So if you go to the settings, you will see on the right-hand side, now on the perspectives page, the default button used to be below the card. It was very hard to read, first of all, which was the default, and it was hard to associate the button with the thing. Now that button sits within the card, so it's much easier to use. Also, if you want to do a new perspective, it used to be at the very bottom of this list by the export, import, and delete, and now it's up there at the top of the list. And that's a very standard pattern to do, right? The new should be at the top of the list. Shout out to my OOUX friends that would already have known that to be true. Super fun little things. If you go to a chart now, the moment cards have these disclosure arrows that used to just, I don't know if you can even see this here. I'm going to have to go fully. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So now the arrows just do this like little animation, and that was a fun little animation to do. So they just go whoop, 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 whoop. Anyways, they got that.
They look good.
They look good.
It's a subtle shift, but it's really good.
It's a little subtle thing that we do there. I also changed the color of the selection circles. So the selection circle on simple dark and simple light used to just be very ugly over here. So the selection circle on the point placement, if you click on a point, it's much more obvious that like that's the selected point. Now, it used to just be like black. It was pretty awful.
Look at this. Oh, I'm still
zoomed in. You're zoomed in. That's not an us problem. That's a zoom in problem.
Yeah.
So we fixed that. And also, if you go back to the chart list page.
Let's look at Simple Dark too.
What's that?
We'll look at
Simple Dark. Yeah, look at Simple Dark as well. Take a look at that. Look, you can actually see it now, as opposed to it just being like a kind of whitish circle. If you go back to the chart list page, if you used your keyboard, it wasn't very clear. We may not have merged this change. Oh no, we did merge this change. So now it's much more clear about what is actually being selected on this screen. So if
I'm hitting tab,
if you're Trey's tabbing through it to look at all of this stuff,
and then I'm hitting enter space. Oh, that one's not hooked up for keyboard.
No, it's not fully accessible. Here's the thing.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're working on it, little at a time. So the first thing is you couldn't even see what was being selected.
Yeah,
we fixed that. Now we need to fix like the entry points for the keyboard across the entire thing. Okay, back to Stellar Dark for a second. If you remember here, if you hover over each of these cards, there's these checkboxes that show up. So now when you do that, the buttons animate in. Okay, great. But it was weird to me that the only place that you could duplicate a chart or delete a chart was on the chart list page. You should be able to do that on the actual chart page as well. So now if you click on the chart page, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, if Trey would be so kind as to see, zoom in here, there's a triple dot and the menu is like that. Now you can duplicate and delete from here. And when you do that, you're gonna have to zoom all the way out. You'll see that there's a toast at the bottom. We changed the title. You go right to the new chart, but if you delete this chart, for example, you should go back to the chart list page. Boop. Are you sure you want to delete? Of course you do. You're back here. And I think those are all of the UI improvements that we were doing. Mr. Henry was doing a lot of backend improvements and creating dashboards, but they're for us. Do you want to talk about like just generally what that is?
It's all work for getting synchronization working so that your charts are on every device.
Yes. So
we're still working towards the same goals. I've been working on a lot of the internal plumbing for that, which includes dashboards. It includes user entitlements. How do we make sure that somebody is able to do the things that they're able to do, et cetera? There's a lot of plumbing that has to work correctly in order for us to give you sync as a feature. But progress is happening. It's coming. We're working very hard on it. So I'm really excited about it, but we don't have anything concrete to show yet. And this showing dashboards isn't like
it's not a very exciting,
exciting
thing to
to
do.
anybody else.
Like, who gets excited about a dashboard?
we might actually show some of the dashboards eventually when we've talked a lot about transparency and how transparency, generally speaking, is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so we might end up like showing, user graphs, signups, even like, some of our business intelligence stuff, or even income amounts and things like that. Because I think people just, unless you've gone through the process of trying to make a business, I don't think people really realize like how hard it is, like how, disheartening even it can be when you work on really, really hard on something and you're like, we have 5 people who pay us right now, and just what a challenge it is, So I think that kind of transparency is helpful to people.
We're at episode 122, so we've done this for at least 122 weeks, and we have 0 people who pay us right now. So that's a little disheartening.
Fortunately, we have quite a few people that are using the product.
Yes, and you are wonderful, amazing people. And
we love you.
Here's look, if you do anything for us right now, if you love us enough, and astrologers that would love using software like this as well, or people in the community that want to support other community folks that are building something, send them our way. Either show them don't show them this video because they're going to be like, what is this?
What is this?
But have them email us at hello@cosmic.plumbing. And we love talking to folks. Just send them a thing to download the software. Tell them to book an hour with us to go through their practice. And as a practitioner, every practitioner always says like, oh, I'm not professional enough in order to have a conversation with you. You all are consummate professionals. We appreciate every single one of you. So don't drag yourself down like that. You're doing great.
Apologize to your brain.
Apologize to your brain. Is that what the good viewer should do today?
The good viewer should apologize to their brain.
Apologize to your brain. Make sure that your brain feels the full weight of your apology.
Sincere
apology. Take care. Be well. Have yourself a beautiful Saturday or whatever day you watch this video. We love seeing your faces here every single week, and we're going to see you again next week. And until then, take care and goodbye.
Bye.